Okay, well, how have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal
He looks at his worn running shoes. What do you steal?
supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
He c- he coughs once more, then puts his hand on his
How
belly.
is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
That's not good.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
A droll smile stretches across his mouth.
We also have Druamine.
It's true. Hey, I will offer. We have Druamine, other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
Hmm. Oh, okay, this feels manipulative. Honestly, I was hoping to just be able to give him one. I'll ask, I guess.
It's the little joys. A dark joke, a sunshiny day, morphine.
A crooked smile appears on his face. Okay. How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
Yeah, 'cause he has not moved on. How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequency's dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy.
That's what I thought.
I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. Interesting. Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
Hmm.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
Yeah. Sure, we can ask about these other things. The weapons cache under St. Ghislaine 22B. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmer Graves, right?
They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there.
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across. Wait, how did he get down there?
How did you access the building? It's locked, at least now it is.
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and everywhere. Most of them are gone now. Collapsed. Just bricks. All the old infrastructure has...
Small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
the propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
Yeah, that's Kim. We found it.
They stored leaflets there.
Yeah.
Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves.
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
He stares at the ruins of the Feld building. Yeah. Do you smoke Tiomutiri cigarettes?
I do.
He coughs. Ever smoke them on the mainland? Point to Land's End.
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
Okay. You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
I know what it looks like. I have secret plans to turn the RCM into a Mazovian revolutionary unit. I feel like that's not actually true, though. Like, Harry is communist. I don't know about turning the cops into communists. That just feels like a lot. We'll leave it at that.
Let's. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans ce monde. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
He never signed the Revacholian instrument of surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
he just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honorable. I mean, in a way, it is a lot. 43 years, but...
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
He looks at the fire pit. Yes, so he is a communist soldier from the communist army. Yes, Harry, keep up.
No, I am not a soldier.
Oh.
I'm an
Okay, I guess
ideological
that is
officer.
different.
I belong to the party, not the army.
You said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do? I assume they help keep ideological purity in the ranks.
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
The lieutenant says softly.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a knight philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
The tracksuit-clad old man is suddenly reanimated. A knight philosopher.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
Means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Point to yourself. I am also a communist.
No, you're not. You're a liberast.
You should engage him about inframaterialism. Impress him with all the ideas you picked up from the reading group.
Is that going to be impressive to him?
No, don't. This man does not subscribe to intellectual daydreams. The communism he mourns is a planetary force.
Right? Okay, liberast.
A liberal and a pederast. It's what most liberals are.
Okay, well, I'm a communist.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology.
Lieutenant gives you a stern look. He then turns to the old man.
We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
Alright, another serious question
There's
for you.
nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
Huh. He looks at the gun in your hand. Alright, well, what have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Yes, touche.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
The lieutenant nods.
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
He shakes his head and smiles, his teeth rotten black.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay, okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit.
Is it?
The great serotonin jackpot.
Ah.
The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Which one do I say then?
Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you, and in them a chill, like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull.
What?
All is not as it seems.
Okay. So, right?
Detective,
The lieutenant turns to you with well-disguised impatience. Huh. All is not as it seems. Is he the murderer? Because, like, my god. Okay. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor, Cornell?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
The corpse in ceramic armor hanging behind the whirling in rags. Did you shoot him?
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
He looks up to the sky and clacks his tongue.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession.
But, like...
The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener.
But, like, was it really him? I guess it had to be, but...
The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
It's true, he did tell you communism. Okay. He did tell me communism killed him. What am I forgetting, though? Let's just go with something else first. Okay, we've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
A jitter passes him.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
Right, it's the best uninterrupted line of sight into that window in all of Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, then one more in his right eye. Ugh, come on, what am I forgetting? I am so curious about this.
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
The what? Oh, yes.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and Maybells on Clausia's balcony.
Huh.
And nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Of course, thank you, Head, thank you.
You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul.
Okay. So was he, like, in love with Clausier? I feel like that would maybe make more sense. Did he raid her papers out of that buoy, maybe? Maybells behind the victim's window. I saw them growing here. Point to them.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He looks at the blossoming field.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez. Only here.
They blossom on the islets before. We fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May, before they ruined it.
He looks to the water.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
The lieutenant's voice is soft, friendly.
I may.
A curious tremor passes his face. Yeah, young woman called Clausier. Ring any bells? Flowers like these were behind her window.
Clausier.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
Yes, Clausier. You hadn't heard her name, had you?
My ears don't reach the city.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
He turns his sight from the whitening field of flowers and falls silent. Then the muscles in his jaw twitch, a spasm.
There is a small tremble. Looks like a smile. A crooked smile. Yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst.
Wonder what brand of boots you're wearing?
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
He looks at his running shoes covered in mud.
Show me the soles, please, Mr. Duras.
Fucking imbecile.
The old man stretches out his leg. A black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoes on his feet.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Corbeil, and the size is 43.
Okay, that's impressive. Does that match the footprints?
These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
The lieutenant comes to the same conclusion. Yeah. Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there, near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you?
He squints at...
Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
He squints at you, black pearls gleaming with hatred.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him. Just the last little push.
He's gonna be so confused about this, but, you know, I'm gonna say it. You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him.
Stupid twat.
He scoffs.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes.
It was intuition? Had he spoken, he would have said communism killed him.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic, Earl creatures.
He would not get along well with Gary.
Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He looks at the air, then turns to the lieutenant.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked.
Yeah, I didn't think it would.
But still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
It's true. How?
Perhaps you suspected it before you took the case. The vision was you remembering that.
This did nothing.
Was it supposed to?
Huh. I'll look deeper.
The inland sea is dark, vast, and on the surface, meaningless.
Is this the miracle?
No, the miracle is still waiting. This is the darkness.
But aren't I way out in the west?
You are. Soon it will happen.
Okay. Turn back to him.
Standing there, slack-jawed, brain festering.
The old man shakes his head. Okay, well, I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Shown the Triangong 446.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with that, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
I mean, I was trying not to.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting.
I mean, we did save a lot of them. We handled it.
You didn't handle anything. I
Fine.
watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. Got most of them killed. Even the fat one.
Poor Angus.
None of those people mean anything to you. The vultures feed on this city, and you prepare the meal for them.
You're getting diverted. Push the gun. Only the gun matters.
So you watched the fight? Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all your doing, your plan. You got them killed.
Thank you, Kim.
You don't know anything.
A twitch runs across the right side of his face as he stares the lieutenant down. Yeah, stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon. Point to it.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Dramatically ask. You think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Alright, I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds, then twitches once more.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
I mean, he has a point.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eye. His fists begin to tremble from the anger.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
He begins to smile. That feels pretty conclusive. You wouldn't know that unless you did it. Right? So, he definitely did it. What was the shivers that I had?
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
The lieutenant asks after a second of silence.
Yes.
A single word is all he gives.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly.
The old man nods.
Why?
That's the question.
Because that's what they were doing.
He shrugs, then smacks his lips.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them that night?
I'm always looking.
He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his right side, lower in intensity.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
He explains.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
Click.
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He looks you in the eye.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
I am so far over time. This is going to be a hugely long episode. But I can't stop. I can't stop now. Okay, so... Let's see. What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
He looked at the charred wood. So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second. Writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
And beautiful.
That, too.
He nods.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Yeah, because you went and fucking stole it.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
This is the headed boy she told us about. You looked into it?
After she was gone.
He nods.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
This implies that he's thought about extorting her.
True.
Also, a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Claudia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
You saw her name on the passport, but before when I said her name was Claudia, you didn't seem to recognize it.
You didn't say Claudia in there.
Oh, that's true, of course. It was different. We know her actual name, but I'll still ask. What did it say her name was in the passport?
It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I only remember her face on the photo.
Are you sure? We checked the submersible. There was nothing there.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
He looks at the reeds, confused.
A strange confusion comes over him from time to time. Some kind of aberration of the nervous system.
Moving on, did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
And you can see her bruises through the scope of a rifle?
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Yeah, indeed. So this is gonna be because he was actually through the pinball back area, I suspect.
It quickly comes to you.
Yeah. The bruises on her body. Any chance you've seen them through a hole in a wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see it through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
Yeah, those were your footprints. You've just changed your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
That too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
He keeps shaking his head.
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
He points toward the whirling in rags.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
Did you have feelings for her?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
I mean, indeed. Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No.
Starts to shake his head again, a sunflower on a withered stalk. Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of our room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Maybells?
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
You wanted to console her, you wanted to manipulate her. I'm gonna say nothing, because, like, this is, like, creepy stalkery shit, dude.
Neither does he. He lowers his head, like a sunflower on a withered stalk. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more.
So it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
He repeats, staring at the ashes, then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eye.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Wow, I think I've gained like 3 skill points during this one conversation.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, but she let us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew.
He sighs.
She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
He adds, to no one in particular.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, snow falls on 40-story towers. Above them, Elysium Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the snowy sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south, smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
The lieutenant uses the opportunity to tell you in a lowered voice.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years?
Good point.
Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
I am very much curious about this. Okay. Stay put.
I ain't going anywhere.
I want to, you know, improve my odds and do all that stuff and try that check. But it'll have to be next time. I am out of time, and I might even split this into 2 episodes because it's been so long. But this has been a really fascinating turn of events. Alright, I will catch you the next time. Bye!